A woman is running for her life through the streets of Istanbul. One shoe slips off behind her, Cinderella style, but she doesn't stop. She keeps running. Her name is Dikil and she's a village girl who can't read or write. She just got to the city and she's asking strangers where to find the Women's Rights Association, a shelter that protects battered women. She only knows the name. She doesn't know the address, the neighborhood, nothing. After shredding her feet on the pavement, she starts doing things that don't make sense. She digs through trash and pulls out a worn-out sneaker, puts it on even though her clothes scream money. Who is this girl? Why is she acting like this? And why is she running from her husband? Military mission in a remote village. Arkan is there with the army and he sees Dikil standing in front of her brothers. They've accused her of bringing shame to the family. They're about to kill her. Arkan steps in like a lifeline, tells them he'll marry her. He keeps his word. They get married and he takes her to Istanbul. But here's the thing, he makes it clear this marriage isn't real. His plan was simple: drop her at the military barracks, file for divorce, walk away. She begs him not to. If he leaves her, her brothers will finish what they started. They already caused her sister's death. Arkan sees she is nobody, so he takes her to his family's mansion instead, warning her not to tell anyone they're married. That same night, the whole house finds out anyway. Their son, the heir to the family fortune, walks in holding a village girl's hand, married to her. After the chaos settles, his parents tell him the deal: divorce her and marry Bursun, his fiancée from a wealthy family. There was a time he loved Bursun, but that feeling's gone. His parents want the marriage because Bursun's father could save their company from bankruptcy. Arkan listens. He plans to divorce Dikil in absentia once he's sure her older brother Farman has been arrested. Her other brother Jivan ends up as Nilufer's personal driver, Nilufer being Arkan's sister. Jivan lives in the mansion with them. He looks like he could hurt you, but he's quiet, different from his brother. The story takes a turn when Dikil finds out Arkan tricked her into signing divorce papers. He exploited the fact that she can't read. She makes a deal with his friend Kadir. They'll get married so her brothers can't touch her after the divorce. This changes Arkan completely. In court, he reverses his decision, shocks everyone, says he's not divorcing her. Back at the courthouse, the judge drops the case. No divorce, status quo. Arkan's father grabs him by the collar, asks if he's trying to burn the house down. Arkan says it's his life, his choice. His father tells him the company will go bankrupt, employees will lose everything, all because of this girl. Arkan promises to fix it, asks for trust. In that moment, Dikil runs to her brother Jivan, who just arrived at the courthouse intending to ruin the hearing. She begs him to convince Arkan to divorce her. She can't take his family anymore. Jivan tells her what Arkan did was right. Then Arkan's mother Angie steps in. She calls Dikil a walking disaster, threatens her if she comes back to the house. Arkan defends her. Truth is, he can't stand his mother anymore. He found out she sent word to Dikil's brothers in the village, told them where to find them. He thought marrying Dikil would end that nightmare. He leaves Bursun behind, takes his wife and walks out. Dikil asks him why he didn't divorce her, why he changed his mind. He says he gave her what she wanted from the start. She explains it's different now. His family is about to disown him because of her. Meanwhile, Nilufer wonders why Jivan ran to the courthouse and stood with Dikil, didn't want her divorced. She asks him what his angle is. She doesn't know he's her brother. He tells her they're from the same village, same region. He can't let a girl from back home get divorced. Nilufer agrees, says her disgusting brothers shouldn't get near her. Jivan cringes at the insult thrown at his own blood, but he clarifies he's looking out for her because she'll be alone without a man. Nilufer says so what, she's single right in front of him. She doesn't get his backwards thinking. She gives him a lesson on equality. Women have the right to marry and divorce just like men. Jivan, stunned, mutters to himself that he's never heard anything like this before. Women equal to men. Over at the shelter side of things, Dikil begs Arkan to take her to the association. She's causing problems with his family and she can't face his fiancée Bursun, who's already planning their wedding. Dikil explains she's not afraid of going back to the mansion. She's used to beatings and humiliation. She just doesn't want to be his burden anymore. Arkan agrees. He stops at a traffic light and she bolts. Takes us back to that opening scene. After wandering all day, feet destroyed, no idea where she is, people finally give her directions to the shelter. In the mansion, Bursun sits with her family planning the wedding. Arkan's family walks in, faces painted with dread. They try to find a gentle way to break the news. Assad does it bluntly, direct and brutal. Bursun loses her mind, scratches herself, breaks things, throws everything. We see she's mentally unstable. Her family promises to make Arkan's family pay for every tear and the price will be steep. They take her and leave. Kadir, Arkan's friend, is with Fatima, the girl he used to love. She called him from the courthouse, told him she ran from her husband, asked for help. He takes her to the shelter. She meets Faride, the director, tells her story. Her husband beat her, probably won't stop chasing her, especially since he knows she loves Kadir. She asks for protection. Faride promises nobody will touch her. She and her son will take care of her. Back to Dikil. People tell her she needs to take a ferry to reach the shelter. Arkan's been following her all day, making sure she doesn't get lost. The clerk says she needs a card to cross. Arkan sends a little boy with his card to give to her. Dickel freezes, afraid to board. He lifts her, helps her on, disappears before she notices. He also sends food with the boy. She takes it, eats like a starving gull. When she sees a mother and daughter who are hungry, she gives them the rest. Tells them don't be fooled by her looks, the expensive clothes, she's one of them, she feels them. Then she hears someone singing, thinks it's her sister Daria, breaks down crying. Arkan approaches, sits beside her. She realizes immediately he's the one who carried her, brought her food. He points out there in the middle of the water, she can't run this time. He insists on taking off the trash-fine sneaker, putting the matching shoe he brought on her foot. Notices her foot is injured. Can't understand why she's being so stubborn, acting this way. We learn why now. She did all this to make him think she's a village girl, he's rich, there's a universe between them. She tells him not to bother, she's not running from him, but she's not going back to the mansion no matter what. He promises to take her to the shelter. In the mansion, Tahir, Arkan's older brother, is treated like the black sheep. Seeing his father favor his younger brothers, he starts suspecting Assad isn't his real father. He discovered his mother had an affair with a man named Fikret, thinks Fikret might be his biological father. When he confronted her, she denied it. But here comes the twist. Tahir did a DNA test, hands it to Assad to read. Assad reads it aloud, the results match. Tahir asks, match with who? Tahir grabs it, says it's sick. It's from him and from you, congratulations, turns out you're my real father. Assad doesn't understand, thinks the machine malfunctioned. Begs him to have a good night, afraid of being exposed in front of her husband. Tahir says the more you don't love me, the more I did this test, hopping you're not my father, hopping there's a reason you treat me like this. But the sick part, you are his son. Assad can't stand it, throws the test in his face, storms out. Not that he doesn't have the right to suspect, honestly. Back to Arkan and Dickel. He's brought her ointment, tends to her injured foot, scolds her for running away without her phone or bag in a city where she knows nothing. Says if he hadn't caught up, she'd be lost by now, probably in some remote police station in Menufia. She tells him she doesn't want to be his burden, he's got enough with his family and their problems. She means she wants to relieve him by living at the shelter. But he rests his head on her shoulder, tells her that's the only weight he's allowing her to carry. Right when this romantic moment happens, his family is tearing themselves apart at home. Assad tells them Hamdi, Bursan's father, issued a press statement saying he won't partner with them, publicly humiliated their company's reputation. In short, they're about to go bankrupt. No one will do business with them, no bank will lend them money. At that moment, Arkan delivers Dickel to the shelter. After fighting and arguing, he does what she wants, leaves her there. As soon as she enters, Fatima is right in her face. Greets her, hugs her, tells her she saw her on the news. She became her role model when Dickel gave that statement about her fake marriage to Arkan and spoke about the suffering village girls endure. Fatima reveals she's Kadir's fiancé, or was, and asks Dickel not to mention that if she had gotten divorced, she and Kadir would have married. We catch her praising Kadir in front of Dickel. Faride organizes a press conference, teaches women how to ask for help even through hand signals, because everywhere women face violence and it's normal to be afraid to scream for help when the abuser might hurt them. She alerts the media. If anyone sees a woman raising her hands making this sign, call the police immediately. Everyone raises their hands, mimics her. Dickel raises hers too, finally feeling she's not alone, that there are stories like hers. In prison, Farman calls Angie. He found out about her affair with Fikret, threatens to expose her to her husband if she doesn't get him out. She hangs up, terrified, calls someone, orders them to kill Farman. During this, Tahir is standing nearby, hears everything. While Dickel settles into the shelter, picking out clothes like what she wore in the village, Faride talks to Angie. She tells her Dickel requested to live at the shelter even without a divorce, and she agreed. Angie warns her not to let Dickel leave. Faride says don't worry, if it's about her brothers, nobody will hurt her. But Angie clarifies she means Arkan. She doesn't want Dickel near him by any means, even if she has to lock her up so he never sees her. When Faride tries to object, Angie reminds her she's indebted to her. Later, Faride remembers a glimpse of her signature and starts humming. Dickel hears it, the same song her sister always sang. She cries, goes to talk to her, tells her she has a beautiful voice. Faride says she wanted to talk to her, but her heart won't let her follow Angie's orders to lock her up. In prison, inmates attack Farman, tell him Angie sends her regards. They grab him, beat him. Meanwhile, Nilüfer takes Jivan to a nightclub to find her brother Tahir, hoping he can help with the company crisis. Jivan is shocked by the debauchery he sees, but she drags him through it. She approaches Tahir, starts talking about the company, and he advises her to loosen up, have a couple drinks, dance like them. Jivan stands there trying to process what kind of brother this is. Nilüfer tells Jivan he's never cared, but not to this extent. What happened to him? He says he found out his father doesn't love him, even though he's his real father. She thinks he's drunk, doesn't take him seriously. Later she sits with Jivan, asks if he has siblings. He tells her about two sisters he used to care for, misses those days, cries talking about them. She gets affected too, says it's the opposite for her, she has no memories with her siblings. Arkan returns to the mansion, confronts his mother, scolds her for bringing Dickel's brothers from the village when she knew they'd hurt her, that every disaster happened because of them. She says she did it for the family's interests. Arkan's sick of that sentence. Everyone uses it to justify every catastrophe. He tells her what she's doing isn't love, asks her to stay out of his life, and leaves. Next day, Jivan calls Nilüfer, says he wants to show her something. We find him drawing hopscotch on the ground, handing her chalk to play. He wants to make up for the childhood she never had. She says she's not playing at this age. He says why not, starts playing in front of her. When it's her turn, her phone rings, news that her friend's father agreed to lend them money. She's thrilled about the news, even more thrilled that he thought of her and made the effort. At the same time, Arkan visits Dikkel at the shelter, finds her sitting there learning to read and write. Notices she's wearing village-style clothes again like her old ones, asks why she's wearing them again. She says, "Don't you like my clothes?" He says it's not about liking them, he's just surprised. He's not accepting her as she is, opposite of what he's saying. He wants to change her, make her look like city girls. Tells her to wear whatever she wants at the shelter, but when they go out she wears what he bought her. She realizes he's ashamed of her, says it outright. He's embarrassed by her and his family can't accept she's his wife in these clothes. If it's too hard for him, divorce her. He doesn't answer, takes her to see a school instead. She's overjoyed. He shows her the school she'll attend, explains there's something called a diploma, essential after every stage. After finishing, she can work, choose any profession she wants. She says she wants to be a teacher. Afterward, he walks with her through the streets, insists on taking her into a store to buy clothes. She asks him to spare her, to just tell her to her face that he's ashamed of her, that he and his family can't accept she's his wife in her village clothes. If it's too hard, divorce her. He doesn't respond, takes her to a bookstore instead. Tells her he'll buy her any book she wants. She finds Cinderella, the story she had as a child, the one her brother Farman threw in the fire. She takes it with her, he buys it. Elsewhere, Bursin calls Tahir, proposes they join forces to destroy Arkan, that Tahir takes his place. She knows his rights are wasted in this family. She says Arkan is turning the world upside down to find a solution and save the company. His job is to find that solution and claim it as his own, so they stop him together. Tahir asks why he'd do that, throw himself away. She explains he won't be throwing himself away, they'll win together, he'll get his dignity back, she'll get her revenge on his brother. At that moment, Arkan takes Dikkel to a fancy restaurant for lunch. The waiter sizes her up in those clothes, assumes she's a beggar, wants to throw her out. Arkan says she's with him. Haven't you seen Ahmed Elawadi entering a cafe in a series like this? The waiter apologizes for the misunderstanding, waits for their order. Arkan orders his usual. The waiter waits for her order, but she just stares at the letters, embarrassed. Arkan is mortified, orders for her. People around them stare. How is a rich guy like him sitting with a village girl like her? Then Nilüfer calls, tells him she convinced her friend's father, he agreed to lend them money. Arkan is relieved the company crisis is almost over, asks where she is. She says she's at a restaurant eating sushi with Jivan. He's shocked. Tells Dikkel, who can't comprehend that her brother Jivan, the guy who used to make her freeze in fear, is sitting there eating sushi. Meanwhile, Nilüfer teaches Jivan how to hold chopsticks. He doesn't get why all this torture. They see Taman, Nilüfer's ex-husband. Their relationship isn't great now. He apologizes for what happened last time. His wife gets annoyed with Nilüfer, tells her your brother married a village girl and you're out here with your driver. Advises her to find someone from her level. Truth is, Jivan is about to snap, lose his temper, but he stays quiet for Nilüfer's sake. They manage to annoy them, take each other, and leave. Arkan drops Dikkel at the shelter, but she doesn't go in right away. She stays outside playing with a cat she saw. At that moment, Farman appears behind her. She's terrified. We learn he managed to escape from the inmates at the last moment. Tahir helped, got him a lawyer, laid him out. Told him Dikkel is a red line, not allowed near her. He did this to annoy his brother and ruin the meeting. Back at the mansion, they're sitting with the investor Arkan, convinced to hear their proposal. Assad is proud of him, tries to convince him to partner with them. Angie calls Faraday, explains their situation isn't good. If they go bankrupt, the shelter will close too. That won't happen if she can convince Dikkel to file for divorce in court. Faraday points out even if she does, Arkan won't agree. Angie says she'll handle her son's issue. Just convince Dikkel and keep her away from her son and home. Farman drags Dikkel against her will into the mansion. Jivan is shocked when he sees him. Farman hugs them, walks in with Dikkel. Suddenly, Jivan glimpses Faraday coming down the stairs. He freezes because she looks like his late sister. He also notices the same mark on her hands that his sister had. We discover that when Daria hanged herself, she was still breathing. Jivan saved her. Protected her from his brother because if he knew, he'd kill her. He told her to run fast, convinced his brothers they buried her. Now he realizes Faraday is his sister Daria. Farman ruins their meeting, throws Dikkel in front of everyone, introduces himself. Arkan grabs him by the throat, but Assad warns him about the investor who's about to bolt. He has to let go. Farman walks over to the man, explains he's not a stranger, practically family. Sits among them, crosses his legs. They all try to smooth things over in front of the investor, but the man says clearly he came at the wrong time. They should sort out their family drama first, then talk. He leaves. They know he's not coming back. Arkan beats Farman, asks how he got out of prison. Farman says he got out, period. Then asks how dare he throw his sister in a shelter. Dikkel explains she went voluntarily, takes him to leave. He says he's not leaving, this is his second home now, he's staying with them, she's divorced anyway. Assad threatens to call the police. Farman says great, then tell them your wife sent men to kill me in prison, he has all the evidence and recordings. Everyone is shocked, they ask her if she really did this. She doesn't answer. Dikkel goes to her room, finds it trashed, knows Bursin definitely did this. Arkan tells her the best thing her brother did was bring her back to the mansion. She asks him not to treat her like an ignorant person, she knows the meeting failed because of her and her brother. He says he'd do anything for her, leaves her, goes to sit with his family. They try to figure out why Angie acted that way. She lies, tells them she did it for Dikkel, afraid Farman would get out and hurt her. Nobody believes her. Assad tells her because of her, he's forced to accept this garbage in his house. His son brings him a village girl and she sends her brother to finish the job. If he finds out her other brother is also living with them, he'll lose it. At that moment, Angie delivers her famous line, she did it for the family's interests. They have no choice but to accept it as a done deal. Farman feels like they're treating him like a stray, leaving him alone in front of a long table full of food. He calls his sister, insists she eat with him. When Arkan goes to her room, she's not there. Meanwhile, Farman is making himself comfortable, feet in the swimming pool, beautiful atmosphere, annoyed by his sister's husband walking in on him. Arkan comes to warn him to stay away from Dikkel. When he doesn't get the message, Arkan grabs him and shoves him into the pool. Farman can't swim. As he's drowning, Arkan stands there, tells him he's much stronger than him, suffered in his life, and now it's time for him to suffer too. Prevents anyone from rescuing him until Dikkel comes, begs him to spare him, let him go. Arkan orders the guards to pull him out, tells him consider the lesson learned. At night, Jivan calls Zara, asks about Faride since she was also at the shelter. He explains he's asking because he suspects she looks like someone he used to know. Zara says she knows her very well, sat there more than 5 years, never saw her smile once. He asks why. She tells him when Faride came to the shelter she was young, didn't remember what happened to her, but clearly a gang tortured her, someone assaulted her. They found multiple skull fractures, dumped her in front of the shelter door. They thought she was dead. Angie took care of her, helped her. Jivan is deeply affected by what he hears. Niloufar watches them from afar, goes crazy seeing them standing together. She screams at Zara, orders her to get to work. Doesn't understand why she acted this way. Jivan is also surprised by her reaction. Afterwards she goes and shows her mother a statement. Fadush, Bursin's mother, maid, publicly humiliated all of them, mentioned the shelter too, said Angie is a hypocrite who runs the shelter to help and protect women when she doesn't know a single woman's story there. She treats her employees like trash, even Dikkel who ran from her brothers and ended up under her roof. Says she has evidence for everything she's saying. As soon as Assad hears this statement, he calls his wife, tells her starting tomorrow she goes to the shelter, helps women, acts like them, cook or clean, whatever, just improve their image in front of the media. He tells them that's what he's got, no negotiation. Arkan goes to Bursin, apologizes, tells her he wronged her a lot, should have ended things when he finished military service, shouldn't have given her false hope. But his father pressured him, forced him to stay for the company's sake. His words infuriate her more. She says she won't forgive him, wishes him a miserable life. He tells her she has a share in the life of their friend Mohammed. We learn she sent her friend away from him even though she knew he loved her deeply, made him think she didn't love him back, which is why he joined the army and unfortunately lost his life there. Arkan blames her for his death, then follows his brother, spies on him, surprised to find him meeting Bursin, planning something together. In the mansion, Jivan sees Kadir leaving the annex drunk, asks what happened. Kadir tells him Faride called, said Fatima miscarried his baby and he's going to the shelter. As soon as Jivan hears this, he offers to drive him. They go there, Faride reassures him, he sits with Fatima, comforts her. Jivan stands outside, Faride calls him over, asks who he is. He says he's the driver, came from the mansion. Approaches her, tells her his name is Jivan, hoping she'll remember her brother or at least the name. She says, what do you want me to do about it? He grabs her hand to look at the mark on it. She thinks he's a pervert, pushes him away. Then he calls her by her sister's name, Daria. She says, have you lost your mind? Leaves, walks away. He's 1,000,000% sure it's her. Meanwhile, Farman hears from his lawyer that if Dikkel divorces, she can claim half their assets, and if she has a child from him, her position becomes even stronger. He goes to her, treats her with kindness and tenderness, agrees she can study and learn as long as her husband doesn't mind. Advises her to use her brain, get Arkan to write something in her name to secure herself. Hints that it's time to make their marriage real, have a child with him. He orders her to sleep in the same room or she'll see his other face. She has no choice but to agree. Late at night, she remembers what her brother said, sleeps on the chair. Arkan sees her, surprised to find her there. She tells him what Farman said, asks him to let her sleep in his room so her brother won't bother her. He explains he can't let her sleep there, they agree each sleeps on one side of the bed. In the end, he gives her the whole room to be comfortable, sleeps in the other room. Next morning, Faride sits with Dikkel, teaches her how to write. When it's reading time, she asks her to read Cinderella. Says her sister always read it to her but she never got to know the ending. Faride fulfills her wish, reads it to her. Dikkel finds it similar to her story with Arkan, remembers when he put the shoe on her foot. At that moment, Angie and Niloufar arrive at the shelter. Angie stands talking to the women, Fadush is there too with her daughter. Angie presents an offer in front of the journalists, calls Dickel over. Strangely, she treats her with complete courtesy and respect, says she was an addition to their family, she's ready to dress like them and serve in the place like any woman there because they're all one. We see her presenting medals of honor to every woman who faced violence at the shelter, helping them, sweeping, cleaning. All of this is a show for the cameras. Badu stands up, attacks her, says nobody will believe she changed overnight, she's never cared, her goal was always to control her husband's money. Faride defends her, tells them she saved her life, without her she'd be dead, and won't let anyone speak badly about her. Flashback. We see Daria when they threw her in front of the shelter broken and Angie cared for her, treated her, named her Faride, told her she was safe, she'd protect her. After Faride defended her in front of everyone, the remaining women also thank Angie because without this place they wouldn't have found shelter, they'd be thrown in the streets. The day ends exactly as Angie wanted. Faride leaves, finds Jiven in front of her. She thinks he's stalking her, but he clarifies he's Niloufer's driver, waiting for them, asks if she has a job for him here. Of course, his goal is to get close to her. Niloufer sees them from afar, gets jealous, mutters to herself about what this man's story is. She goes to him, asks if he finished talking to her, hints that he's standing with a different woman every day. He says she misunderstands, tries to explain, but she acts like it doesn't matter. Speaking of jealousy, Arkan passes by the shelter, finds Kadir sitting with Dickel teaching her how to read. He's annoyed, jealous. Kadir sees him, excuses himself, leaves them alone. Arkan sits beside her, tells her she needs to be confident, everything will become easy, helps her until she can read a full sentence. She's overjoyed, hugs him. Faride comes, gives her a medal of honor, hangs it on Dickel, congratulates her. Afterwards she talks to Arkan, tells him the investor really bolted, called and said he changed his mind, won't partner with them. Dickel blames herself, says what happened is because of her, advises him to go talk to him again, maybe he can convince him, assures him she'll come with him. They arrive in front of the company, he says he'll talk to him and come back, warns her to stay in the car. As usual, she doesn't listen, follows him. He sits with the man, tries to convince him, but every door is closed in his face. Bursan's father blocked them all, she stands listening to everything. At that moment she walks in on them, tells the investor she wants a word. He allows it. She tells him her story of suffering with her brothers until Arkan appeared and saved her. Thanks him in front of the man, says if he trusts Arkan he won't regret it, he always keeps his promises. Arkan thanks her for all her beautiful words, takes her to leave. Suddenly the investor calls them back, says he's convinced, he'll try to trust him, congratulates him on their partnership. They're overjoyed, return to the mansion. He tells her she saved the company, all thanks to her. For the first time he's glad she didn't listen to him and got out of the car, without her the investor would have slipped through their fingers. Farman hears their conversation, celebrates his sister who will secure their future and let them live the luxury he dreamed of. At night he comes to her, pressures her again about having a child, threatens her, reminds her of her sister Daria. She asks him not to mention her. He reminds her that she's the one who caused her death. We discover he's telling the truth, she came to him when she was little, told him her sister was planning to run away with the shepherd's son. She didn't want her to leave, to abandon her. When she remembers, she's shattered. He says if she doesn't listen to him, her end will be like her sister's. Niloufer comes, tells them what her mother did work, the press is talking about her in the shelter. Assad tries to find another plan to help them, but Arkan tells him there's no need, the investor agreed to partner with them. His mother comes, congratulates him. He says all credit goes to Dickel, she's the one who convinced him. She says she also started getting involved in work. Assad is happy, congratulates him, leaves them, goes to her with novels for her. But he's surprised to find her sitting there crying, tries to understand what happened. She's having a hysterical episode. He holds her, calms her down. She tells him she's the reason her sister lost her life. Explains she told her brother her sister was going to run away to stop him, to prevent her from leaving. She was little, didn't think things would reach this point. Says she doesn't even know where her sister's grave is so she can pray for her forgiveness. He comforts her, tells her it's not her fault, stays with her until she calms down. Next morning, Tahir comes to her, tells her Arkan isn't there, offers to take her to school himself. She thanks him, says she changed her mind, won't study anymore. He sits beside her, says he'll take care of her in her husband's absence, protect her from Farman. She tells him she doesn't deserve his kindness because she's a criminal. He leaves her, goes to Faride at the shelter, orders her to come with him. At first she refuses, says she doesn't take orders from anyone. But then he explains Dickel is in a terrible psychological state, she's given up on studying. Faride wonders why he cares. He says let's just say he hurt her without meaning to, wants to fix his mistake, meaning he's the one who got Farman out of prison. In the end, Faride agrees to come with him. Farman's turn comes, Tahir confronts him, says didn't I tell you Dickel is a red line, orders him to stay away from her, leave her alone. Farman asks why he's so interested in her, says did you fall in love with your brother's wife? Tahir snaps, beats him, holds him accountable for making her feel responsible for her sister's death. Arkan told him, but Farman explains he didn't lie to her, threatens that if he thinks about sending him back to prison, he'll tell the world their mother was having an affair with another man. When Tahir thinks about the DNA test, he replies happy birthday to you. There was, it's over, I changed my mind. Meanwhile, Arkan goes to Dikul's village to find Daria's body, buy her a grave, let Dikul visit it. He takes Jiven with him. They keep digging in the lands there because he buried her somewhere around there but can't remember exactly where. In the end, they don't find anything. Arkan loses it, grabs Jiven by the throat, squeezes, demands to know where he buried her. Jiven tells him no matter how hard he tries, he won't find her. Arkan asks him to explain what he means. At that moment, he says you won't find her because she's still alive. At the same time, Faraday is sitting with Dikul reading her favorite story to improve her mood. Suddenly, Dikul notices the mark on Faraday's hand. We learn the story of this mark now. When Dikul was little, she was playing near her brother Farman's coffee pot. She accidentally knocked it over. When he came, furious, asked who did it, Daria confessed, took the blame. He took a piece of burning coal and burned her hands with it. Dikul talks to her, tells her sister also had the same mark on her hands, asked how she got burned. But Faraday says she doesn't remember anything. After that, Dikul confesses to her that she's the reason for what happened to her sister because she told her brother when she was little that she was planning to run away. Faraday explains her brother meant to make her feel guilty so he could control her. Asks her not to believe anything he says. At that moment, Farman is listening to their conversation, bursts in, orders her to stay away from his sister. Tells Dikul from now on, don't sit with this woman, no more education, no more empty talk. Faraday stands in his face, tells him the days when he controlled his sister are over. She's here and won't let him hurt her. At that moment, he also calls her by Daria's name, says, glory to God, you look exactly like my dead sister. If I wasn't sure she died, I'd think you were her. He warns her again to stay away from his sister. When she argues with him, he grabs her arm, threatens her. Suddenly she weakens, afraid of him. He takes her from her hands, throws her out. Dikul and Zara try to stop him, but he pushes them too, throws Dikul on the floor. Tahir arrives, grabs him. Faraday pulls pepper spray from her bag, sprays them, and leaves. Tahir runs after her, tries to calm her down, but she's in shock, can't control her nerves. He doesn't understand what's wrong with her, wonders why she got so scared. On the other side, Jiven sits with Arkan, shows him the place where he hid Daria, agreed with her he'd handle things and smuggle her to the city, but when he returned she was gone, had escaped. Arkan insists on telling Dikul, but Jiven warns him nobody must know because if the news reaches Farman, he won't leave her, he'll kill her. Arkan agrees with him that they'll do everything they can, search for her together whether she's alive or dead. The important thing is to reunite the sisters, find her or find her grave. Meanwhile, Dikul talks to Kadir, says she can't go back to the shelter because Faraday definitely won't be able to see her. Tells him it's the first time she saw someone afraid of someone the way she was afraid of her brother Farman. Says, who do I trust now? Who do I lean on when I get divorced? With all manhood and chivalry, he tells her I'm here. Tells her he still keeps his promise, ready to marry her. She reminds him her brother shot at him once before, she won't forgive herself if something happens to him. Plus, Fatima is there. He assures her the Fatima issue is closed, he's helping her, nothing more. She tells him she's the reason her sister lost her life. Zara hears all this from afar. He sits comforting her. At that moment, we see Assad beating Farman. Tells him as long as you're in this house, respect yourself, sit properly, don't lay a hand on Dikul or her teacher or even look at any of the mansion's assistants in a way I don't like. When Farman says he has dirt on his wife that could put her in prison, Assad says climb on my shoulders and ride. And if you make another mistake, I won't stop my wife from you, report her freely, I don't care. At that moment, Farman fears him, knows his words are orders. Promises it won't happen again. Afterward, Kadir comes, holds him accountable for bothering Dikul, getting in her head that she's responsible for her sister's death. Beats him, knocks him to the ground. Thanks to Zara, she informs Angie of everything she heard, goes up to Dikul's room, finds her writing the sentence, I am the reason my sister died, over and over. We learn she can't stand it because she was also abused, but she didn't have a prince to come save her. That's why she's annoyed with Dikul, taking things personally. Angie's mother-in-law comes to Dikul, tells her I wish you had just destroyed our lives, but you destroyed your own family before us. Accuses her of fooling everyone, says she's the one who caused her sister's death from the beginning, robbed her of a life she could have lived, all because of her. Leaves her with her guilt and walks away. When Dikul goes to her room, reads the sentence Zara left her and burns. At that moment, Kadir comes to her. She hides her tears quickly before he enters. He insists on making her video call Arkan because he's worried about her. She calls him, reassures him about herself without asking where he traveled or what he's doing. He feels like she's saying goodbye. Afterwards, she goes to Assad, asks him to pay her for the 2 days she worked at the company. He gives her an envelope with money. She takes it, looks one last time at the mansion, leaves without anyone seeing her. The surprise, Fikret gets out of prison and Karim sees him on his way out. He talks to Hamdi, they heat up against Arkan. Hamdi explains to him that their enemy is one. He says my problem is with Assad, not Arkan. At that moment, Hamdi points out that the plan that was made against him and put him in prison was Arkan's plan from the beginning. Tahir sits with his family, tells them Karim is still on his side. He found out Fikret and Hamdi are sitting together, planning against them. They agree to stand against them. Assad goes crazy because they're now looking for any loophole to catch him or trying to scare away his new investor. Since Arkan is missing, he decides to depend on his 2 sons in front of him. When Kadir notices Dikul isn't there, he comes to the kitchen, asks about her. They hear Farman, he goes crazy too. At that moment, he pulls out his phone, tells them she's in an area far from here. we discover he put tracking software on her phone. He and Kadir go together to catch up with her. At night, Dikkel walks toward the location after someone described the bus stop route to her and taught her how to use it. Suddenly, she finds a homeless man sleeping in front of her, trembling. She thinks he's having episodes like Tahir, goes to help him, but turns out he's a thief. Threatens her with a sharp object, flips her, takes her bag and phone. Arkan worries about her, especially since she sent him a message telling him to forgive her. He calls her, finds her phone off. Calls Kadir, finds out he just arrived in Istanbul. Kadir shocks him she ran away, tells him about the tracking software that the signal suddenly cut off. Arkan goes crazy with worry. Calls Faride, tells her, warns her if Dikkel comes to the shelter she should call him immediately. She hangs up, tells her assistant to spread Dikkel's photo, search for her street by street until they find her. Dikkel reaches the bus stop, looks for a bus to take her back to her village. A strange, suspicious woman approaches her, tells her she'll help her. Dikkel goes with her. The woman signals to a man, he follows them. Suddenly they grab her. When Dikkel sees the girls they kidnapped, she realizes it's a gang. She shoves one of them, runs with all her speed. At that moment, another one shoots at her from behind to stop her. At that time, Tahir comes to the shelter. Faride asks if there's any news about Dikkel, but he doesn't know anything. He tells her he came to check on her. She takes him outside, talks to him. He tells her his eye almost went blind because of the pepper spray she sprayed on him, and despite that he never heard an apology from her even though he was saving her. She tells him she doesn't need his help, he should never come here again. Suddenly a woman from the shelter comes, tells them they found a girl's body in a place near here. Both of them panic, think it's Dikkel. Tahir offers to drive her, takes her, they go to the morgue together to identify the body. News comes from the police station. Arkan runs there, finds Dikkel in front of him, takes her in his arms, tells her something would have happened to him from the fear for her. Afterward, the officer sits with them, tells them Dikkel acted bravely. Not only did she approach the gang, she helped them arrest the gang members and save the rest of the girls. We learn the bullet didn't hit her, she tried to run from them, and when she couldn't she screamed among the people, remembered the signal Faride taught her, made the distress call with her hands. At that moment a woman saw her, alerted the guards, they came and arrested them. The girls come and thank her, without her they would have lost their lives. Jivan takes her in his arms too, begs her never to run away again. At the same time, Tahir comes and reassures Faride that they found Dikkel. But she says, even though I'm relieved it's not Dikkel, I'm sad for the girl because she was also one of the shelter's girls. She tells him she won't leave her, right, she'll get justice for her. He hints to her that this is personal for her, he heard her story. She says she couldn't get justice for herself, so at least she'll get it for every woman who faces violence. Confirms to him that he's right, this is indeed personal. When he returns home, he decides his main mission is to find who did this to her and get her justice from him. Dikkel sits with Arkan and Jivan, tells them she ran away, was going to go to her village to visit her mother's grave, and then she was going to hurt herself. Arkan blames her for what she was planning to do, reminds her she saved 3 lives today, asks her never to forget that no matter what happens, manages to calm her, reassure her. Tells her her brother wants to tell her something, but Jivan can't say a word. She thinks he wants to take her to her sister's grave. She hugs him, happy. Arkan is forced to tell her they found the grave location so she won't be upset. At the end of the day, Jivan goes to the shelter, checks on Faride, doesn't know how to remind her. Decides to stay silent, protect her like he protected her back then, not tell her she's Daria, not for her sake, not even for Dikkel's sake. He keeps the secret to himself so she won't get hurt. Next day, Arkan and Tahir go to Fikret, scare away the investor with him. Arkan doesn't stop there, he gets on a crane, threatens to demolish the project Fikret is proud of. At that moment, Fikret goes crazy, says his account is settled and he'll pay a heavy price. That same day, Arkan takes Dikkel to the village, shows her a fake grave for her sister. He's forced to do this so he won't give her false hope when he doesn't know if she's alive or dead. Meanwhile, Nilüfer takes Jivan to a barbecue party with her friends. Her ex-husband Taman is there and suddenly he can't control the fire, about to cause an accident. Jivan runs, extinguishes the fire with Taman's jacket, gives him lessons, teaches him how to stand and grill. Tells him if he can't handle it, stand back, it's better. Nilüfer is thrilled with him. Jivan stands grilling, calls Nilüfer beside him when he notices the years are bothering her. At night he talks to her, confesses her friends are superficial, there would have been a fire this morning and her ex-husband only cared about his Italian jacket. She thanks him for his help, tells him her whole life she was forced to be like them, because she was always searching for the love she was denied because of her family who didn't love her. Tells him he's completely different from them, her feelings start moving toward him. Meanwhile, Assad goes to Hamdi, furious because he found out Hamdi has his eye on the club his father founded, wants to take it from him. Threatens him that if he does this he'll open the old files too, expose the construction accident where many people lost their lives, tell everything to the press. At that moment, Hamdi has a heart attack. Afterward, Fadush takes Assad aside, tells him enough of what happened to me because of you. I barely built a family and got away from you. At that moment, Angie overhears and discovers Fadush was having an affair with her husband. We see Farman going to Fikret's house, gets a call from one of his men who says loudly they're ready and will shoot at Arkan's car, everything is ready. Of course, Farman is afraid his luxury will fly away from him. Immediately calls Bursin, tells her the news. At that moment, Jivan and Nilüfer go to receive Arkan and Dikkel, take them in the car. Suddenly, Jiven notices a car coming from behind, pressing on them. Angie runs to Fikret, begs him to stop his men not to hurt Arkan. He gives her a choice, either travel with him to Germany and live together or lose her son. At that moment she confesses to him that Arkan is their real son, asks him to act quickly or he'll regret killing his own son with his own hands. At that moment we see them all getting out of the cars, gathering around each other, surrendering to their fate. Will Angie confess to Fikret to save Arkan? Or is he really his biological son, and will they manage to save them, or will it be too late? Like director Mohamed Sami will tell you what happens when the next episodes drop. And here I am completing the episodes as I promised you. If you're not bored with the series yet and want us to continue the rest of the new episodes as soon as they drop, write to us in the comments below.